Well, claims it's happening. Let's see. Is that? Bam? Not yet.
I'll scratch the cat and tell them. Oh, yeah, look at that cat. Look at that cat, huh? Look at that. Oh, is that the Ernest?
Just gotten home. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's, Houston, we have a problem time. Episode number 501. So here we are. It's Monday night. Market's kind of today. Even though, like, the GME price didn't really do much. Kind of went 22, 21, just where it was yesterday. Implied volatility is really collapsing hard on options. So they're getting super cheap. The rumors are now swirling that Friday is going to be a big day for GameStop. I have no idea. All the predictions since June 7th have been pretty so far. So, I've got some options for 23rd. We'll see. If not, I will reset later in the week for a time further out or just check out. Trump had his little interview with Elon. Seemed very seemed like he took his dentures out for it. I only heard a couple of clips. The power was out while it was going on, so I had no ability to listen to it live. What else happening? Latest docket filed in the BBBY court has a whole bunch of requests for confidential information from a third party. Lots of confidentiality, keeping things secret, sealing documents. Very curious as to why in this late stage there would have to be so many secret, spy versus spy type things going on in the bankruptcy court. So, yeah. Is there anything else? Kat, do you have anything? No? Reminder. I got a couple of self-addressed stamped envelopes already here. And if you send me self-addressed stamped envelopes, I will send you the new stickers. The new stickers arrive, the email I just got says the 23rd, so week and a half. And I will ship you a sticker, and in the box over yonder, that box right there, are 24 gifts, I believe, to celebrate Show 500 on Friday, and I will pick one at random and ship it to you. I have no idea what it's going to be. Could be anything. And we'll keep sending those things out until I run out. So the first 24 of you to request a sticker will get something from Nya. And I've got 200 stickers coming, so the stickers will last a while. Last time I had 100, and that lasted a few months. So get yourself a sticker. Get yourself something or other from Mystery Michael, who's amazing. And yeah. So yeah, and the address in the description, the P.O. box down yonder, and we'll see what we get. I have no idea what any of those things are going to be. There is a list, and I expunge it from my brain so that I won't know what anything is that's going out. I'm just going to pick things at random. If you do want to send a few bucks to cover some of the shipping, I would not mind, because shipping everything at minimum is probably going to be like $5 a doohickey. So whatever. It's nighttime, isn't it? We haven't done it after dark in a while. So how about this? And off. All right, everything else off? Everything else off. So, what's in your minds? What's happening? What are your brains thinking about tonight? Marvin G looks like he was first. Thoughts on JD Vance and drag? I mean, kind of boring drag, to be honest. Like if you're gonna do drag for Halloween or a function or whatever, show some skin, baby. Like, why else would you be there? I mean, give all the ladies a little peek. If you do it right, I'll be honest, as somebody who has dressed in drag for Halloween many, many times, ladies cannot help themselves and will grope the heck out of you. Like, I remember once I was a roller skate diner waitress. I was at this gigantic party over in some mansion over on the other side in Shoreline or something. And what I had done is I had the apron for the waitress, for the diner waitress. I'm on roller skates, so I'm like 7 feet tall with this big bouffant, like Peggy Bundy hairdo, and a very definite porn stash. Short skirt, bloomers, you know, showing lots of leg. And in my apron, I have about 100 mini bottles of booze that I would, like, you know, give out to people, because why not? And I remember standing there having a conversation with someone, and this woman is just digging around in there looking for, nope, that's not the bottle I want, going back in for more, nope, that's not the bottle I want. Finally she finds one, and as she's doing that, this other woman is behind me, and she's just like pawing my entire body, just like back over butt down to legs, just over and over. She's just like petting every square inch of me, and I turn around, she's like, I just couldn't help myself. I'm like, well, now you know how we feel all the time. Anyway, end of the evening, you know, all the bottles are gone, and I stick my hand in there, and there is like 30 phone numbers. I have no idea who those are, just phone numbers like Carrie, you know, Margaret, whatever. And the thing is, like, everyone's in costume, so I don't know, I have no idea. Was it like the lady dressed as the Zoltar machine? Was it one of the 4 ladies dressed as Poison Ivy? Or one of the 4 ladies dressed as Harley Quinn? Whatever. So I ended up going on a lot of dates anyway. I had no idea who these people were. It was like blind dates. And all of them, I think, were expecting me to show up in my diner waitress costume or something, because they were just like, oh, that's what we have? Anyway, if you're going to do drag, show skin. Make it fun. Show some leg, a little bit of belly, I don't know, some cleavage. Get something in there, make it fun. Make people go, oh, he just looked like just a boring ass dude in a wig. And you know what? I think what people are talking about, what people are talking about it is that he is one of those folks who is anti-trans, anti-gay, you know, don't bend your genders or whatever. I don't think he actually believes those things. I think he's really cynical and pushes for that stuff because that's what he believes the base wants. You can read articles about his best friend from college is a trans man, or like gender nonconforming, and you know, until he decided to run for Senate, he was very much like pro-trans people. So I don't think there's any problem with a dude dressing up as a lady. Do what you want to do. The problem people find is the hypocrisy. You can't do it, but it's okay for me, and that's where the problems lie in that. So, but JD, show some skin, dude. If you're gonna do it, like, go all the way. Don't be too conservative with it. Come on, run with it. You're dressing as a lady. Take every advantage of it you can. Okay, Ferris is first for saying first. True. Fose Productions was third. Homer's Ghost, happy birthday, Houston. Thank you. Thomas George was fifth. Jethro, Houston, After Dark, intro. Yes. A Passing Cloud calls on double intro. You're not going to get it. I think they're all off. I think you're not going to get it. Rose Moon, Houston. Today I took the certification exam and passed. I'm a registered behavioral technician now. Woo! Yay! I need a woo yay video, don't I? I don't have one. I need a woo yay video. Passing Clouds, good congratulations. Fungusaur is doing congratulations. Jason Blackwell. Oh. Hey, Houston. That was the last time I posted about Trump and your sub. 284 messages in inbox in less than 24 hours. Ugh. The sub is nuts. The amount of traction that sub gets for, I think we're at like 3,000. How many do we have? Subscribers? Let me just do a quick little check here. Okay, go to how many we're at? You're at close you. All right, Houston Wade, how many do we have? Where are we? 4,000 members now? I have never added another moderator to or admin or whatever to the group. It's just me, and I do have to spend probably 30 minutes a day just banning trolls and Nazis. They get so mad. Say something so racist, and I ban them for being a Nazi, and then delete their comments. And the thing that really pisses me off about Reddit is that it sends them a note from me. I can't be like, don't send them a note, just ban them and forget about it. It sends a note, it's like, you've been banned for these reasons. And, it basically says, get fucked, Nazi. And then it gives them the opportunity to message me back. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, what'd I do? I didn't do anything wrong. And their comment had the N-word in it and all sorts of things. Yeah, you did lots of things wrong later. And then that 1 time out of 10, they just double down and go straight Nazi, which is okay, I guess, because then I just flag that, and then their accounts get deleted off Reddit, and they got to go form another one. But I don't know what it is. I don't know why the subreddit has taken off, because it is a lot of people who have nothing to do with this show. None, like thousands of them, nothing to do with the show, pop in there, and you guys must have figured out some sort of way to get the algorithm to really get it to show up on people's feeds. Because that, and there's a lot of people who think it's a subreddit about the city of Houston. I hate the city of Houston. This has nothing to do with the city of Houston. I'm a dude named Houston. So, yeah. So if you do post on there and you do it just right, especially if you talk about Javier Milei or anything to do with Trump or Kamala Harris, just, so some of them have thousands of replies, and it's bonkers. I don't know what the algorithm does to throw that in people's feeds, but it goes nuts. Absolutely nuts. So, yeah. It is what it is. Okay. Citizen54. A broken X and a slurry Trump. What a disaster that was. Trump is in a spiral of loserdom. Don't get too confident. Everyone must vote. Also, any BBY news? I am itching for some volatility news. The only news is the latest dockets asking for a third party and a whole bunch of confidential stuff. So we can guess who that third party may be and what that confidential stuff may also be. But we don't know yet. Just don't know. Stephanie L. Super Chat. Hey, yo. You mentioned a couple late September dates a show or two ago concerning BBY. While significant, still think Trump is toast. I think Trump is very much toast. At this point, if he goes through with the election, he's going to get absolutely trounced by 10 points or more. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think it's going to get. I think Harris is going to widen her lead, and the way surveys are set up now, like polling services, they used to call a landline, which really messed everything up because there was a period of time when no one had landlines. Then they started calling phone numbers, but people don't answer. If they don't know who's calling, they go, ignore. So the data is pretty skewed. And so they have to do a mixture of things. They got to do, requests on email. They got to do requests for phone calls or text message. And that's to do in-person random sampling. So you have to have people with your organization who can randomly select folks from public locations around the country and then try to amalgamate the data from all those different perspectives to get as close to an accurate poll as they can. And so far, Emerson College appears to be the best at it, as they were in 2020 and 2022. They're a small polling service, so they pretty much do national polling once a month, and then they do individual battleground states, about 2 states a week, and they go through them and they recycle their individual state polling. So it's I think Trump's going to get trounced. So if he goes through with it, he's toast. And they'll try to do have a rally or whatever. But this time he doesn't have control of the military or the National Guard, so it's going to be a little harder for him to, keep the National Guard from going on the Capitol and stuff. So I think there's a non-zero chance that Trump hops onto his plane before September 18th and skips town, because he's facing sentencing on the 18th. I think it's very likely the judge will slap him with a contempt charge, which will automatically remand him to Rikers for however long the contempt charge is. So he will be going to jail. I don't know what the sentencing will be for the actual crimes for which he was convicted. That he can appeal, and he might be able to remain out on appeal since it's a first-time offense. So I think contempt charge will be the important thing. It might keep him in jail for the rest of the election, depending on how long the judge gives him. It doesn't help that he spent a lot of time insulting the judge after the trial, when he was supposed to refrain from making any comments whatsoever about people who work at the courthouse. So if he skips town and heads to a non-extradition country, then he's going to have to spend out the rest of his days, somewhere else. He'll never get to visit Mar-a-Lago again. He'll never get to go to Trump National or, Bedminster or see Trump Tower. Like, he'll have to spend the rest of his days elsewhere, right, as a fugitive. And he won't be able to leave that nation he's in unless he goes to other non-extradition countries. So, maybe he's got 10 years left. I have no idea. So, depends on, does he want to go somewhere, and he has to make sure they've got a golf course, right, that he can buy. So maybe UAE. There's no extradition treaty with the UAE. He's got a hotel there. There's lots of golf courses. So, we'll see how that goes. September dates for BBBY. Apparently, the judge wants everything wrapped up by September 30th. And he seems to be making that go even faster, because some of the things, the adverse claims, what's the term I want? The appeals, no, the adverse claims. The documents for people who have claims against BBBY must have their documentation in by the 22nd or 23rd, so that the judge can do a hearing before the end of the month. He wants to get this thing just done lickety-split. And I think that's because he wants it to emerge from bankruptcy before the end of September. And think about it this way. They canceled all of our shares September 30th last year. If this thing emerges September 30th or later, then we are all on long-term capital gains. So that cuts down the tax basis for everyone involved by a lot. So I guess, we might be moving from thumb twiddling to chin stroking here in the coming weeks, depending on what's coming out of the court. So. Fabrizio, 69,420th. Thomas George, Houston. No Labs Core 3 earnings call coming up. Ron always does a great Q&A at the end. Last one, May 15th, he said they're looking to do a pre-submission meeting with FDA during fiscal year 24. They have a timeline, testing the device, inventing things, whatever, doing clinical trials with the prototype, then doing the commercial application device and so on. And now on their timeline that they posted is basically get ready for FDA approval. It's for submitting FDA approval. And I think that's going to happen before the end of the year. I think it will happen, if I were to guess, by mid-November maybe. They get that paperwork in, and that way folks in the government can start on it before the holiday season. And I'm not sure exactly the time frame for medical devices. It is a lot quicker than it is for drugs. They may look at all the data and all the independent testing they've done and go, that's pretty good. I don't see any glaring holes. We've had peer review, stamp. Or they may require one more clinical trial under government supervision, like a double-blind test under government supervision, and that may be it. And that doesn't take long. You can take 100, 200 people who have varying glucose levels, and you measure them against standard finger pricks or invasive glucose monitors with their device, compare the results, and go, oh, okay, yeah, this works or it doesn't work. So it seems to be pretty straightforward to get the data out of that. And I have a feeling it's going to be before the end of the year that they submit that paperwork. Okay, not I'm off. Super chat. What is a realistic price target for no labs? Does the price crash back down after FDA approval? Not familiar with medical stocks. I think realistic price for no labs is very high. Let's look. All right, we're gonna go here. I have to get. Let me get the calculator up. Calculator. Come on. Boop. And go right there. Okay, got the calculator up. Let's do, how many total outstanding shares do we have right now? KNW total outstanding shares. We're at 100 million or so? 86.37 million. They just announced today they finished their $3 million share offering that they started last week. Sold 13 million of them or something. Okay, so we're 86.37. 86 million. All right. 86. I'm just put this down. 00. Oh, 37. 37. Derp, 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 derp. So 86 million shares. And right now they're at like what, 25 cents a share, 20 cents a share. It's pretty, because they did 2 share offerings this year, so it kind of depressed a bit. So the market cap is, say it's at 25 cents. So market cap's $21 million ish. Okay. Let's say they get FDA approval, right? Everyone you know who is diabetic is going to abandon finger pricks. They're going to abandon invasive glucose monitors, the Dexcoms and things like that. Because why? Why have to put holes in your body when you don't have to? You can get continuous monitoring. You don't have to worry about putting, new chemicals into the machine and do it. It's so much easier. All you have to do is like once a month, charge the sucker. Done, right? And then the battery lasts for a month after that. So you're going to buy the device. I'm not sure what the price is going to be. Let's say it's $100, and then your insurance company will pay for it, and your insurance company will then agree to a subscription fee for the device. So they'll be paying another $100 a month, $99 a month, right, for that thing. We have 30 million people in this country who need to monitor their glucose levels. 30 million of them, right, at $100 a month. That's $3 billion a month times 12 months. That's $36 billion a year in just subscription fees. Now, subscription fees, that is almost straight profit because they're paying for the device, paying the $100 it costs to build the device at some factory somewhere. So you pay $100, you get the device, boop, it goes to you. There may be, a team of software developers. You might have a team of customer support, right? Because, my device isn't working, I got water on it, whatever. And you have to replace devices. So you're going to have some costs. You're going to have, a few hundred customer support people, a couple dozen software engineers. You have some designers that are updating things and making the device smaller. So you're going to have some costs, but those costs are going to be a couple billion, right? Outside of that, just in the US alone, you're looking at probably $30 billion a year profit once this thing goes nationwide. Plus, you've got nations like China, India, Europe that also have diabetic people. So maybe there's 100 million people across the world or more that will be using this device in the end. So, you're looking at what, 10 billion a month? So that comes out to $120 billion a year. All right, 10 billion a month times 12. So $120 billion a year just from subscription fees globally for this device. If you're clearing $30 to $100 billion a year in profit, you are at the same level as Microsoft, as Apple, as Nvidia, right? You're clearing huge amounts of profit. Not only that, but they can take that profit and they can start using it to do R&D on other applications, defense contracting, mineral extraction, other medical devices for looking for diseases and pathogens. Imagine you are at an airport, international airport, and you walk through that machine that like scans you to make sure you don't have any guns or whatever on you, but it also has has several ARFID antennas that go bzz, bzz, and they can figure out if you've got communicable diseases, right? It's like, oh, this person probably shouldn't be flying. They have Ebola, right? So they could do things like that with this technology in the future. So the growth potential is really big. But let's just say all they ever do is the non-invasive glucose monitor. Other companies will come into the market eventually, depending on how good they are, and if they're stealing patents and whatnot. Who knows? But if they're clearing $36 billion a year, that's a $100 billion company. Easily, if not more, if not $1 trillion company. But let's just say a $100 billion company. So a $100 billion company divided by 86,370,000. This is just current level. Is $1,100 a share. Granted, they get FDA approval. They will sell more shares because you're going to have to ramp up hiring a bunch of people and salespeople and getting factory space ready to make tens of millions of these things. So they will sell more shares. But the price will, once you get FDA approval, the price will skyrocket to tens or hundreds of dollars. So the number of shares they have to sell to be able to make up enough money to hire those folks and to get that factory space is going to be pretty limited. So maybe there'll be 100 million shares and they're at $1,000 a share at some point. And once your stock starts flying like that, you start doing forward splits. So maybe it's a 10-to-1 forward split. So however many shares you have now, you'll have 10 times as many, worth $100 a share each, things like that. So this is my projection for what I think an investment in No Labs will mean if they get FDA approval. I know Sad Boy Incorporated is just shooting for $500 a share. He's got 333,000 of them. He's been doing updates on the subreddit about his shares. I would love to have something come out of BBBY or GME. So that I would love to have 1 million shares of this sucker. Because right now you can do 1 million shares for $250,000 ish, and if they go to $1,000 a share, boom, billionaire country. Now America can just hate me. If I have ever that much money, I'm just giving it away. But that's something. That's kind of what I figure, roughly. Anyway. We did that one. Brandon Wells, sup? Thomas George again. Be interesting to get an update on that. Oh, you're talking about No Labs again. Sorry, it continued there. Or is in the cards for near future? Yes, I think this fall or winter it's going. Low B got sucked into reading some Project 2025 nonsense. Sigh. Come here and clear my mind. Yeah, Project 2025 is fucking gloomy. You read that thing, and you have to read it through the eyes of people who watch Star Wars and think Darth Vader was the good guy, right? These are the folks that write things like Project 2025. They identify with the villains in movies. They're like, oh, Hannibal Lecter had a point there. Homelander's my kind of guy, despite being a complete Nazi piece of shit, right? They will identify with the villain in movies, and then they work for the Heritage Foundation and write things like Project 2025. They read sci-fi novels where some like fascist fool takes over and destroys the entire universe, and they go, that guy was onto something, right? So that's when I read Project 2025, that's what I envision, is that somebody who can't differentiate between good and evil thinks the evil's the good guy the entire time, and then they wrote a nonfiction fanfic about how to enact whatever horrible policies the bad guy in the movie had into real life. Frozen State Productions. Oops. Oh, and there's the reset of the chat. Dang it, Frozen State Productions. You made me reset my chat. Where are we? Okay, there's that. There we go. Okay. Got back from Sturgis Rally today. Did not see a single incident between bikers or locals. Didn't see a single Harris Wall sticker. A couple Trump stickers. No politics. No fighting. It's generally not too political there. It's been a while since I've been. I mean, it's been 12 years. There was an incident a few years ago where like an Aryan Nation biker group, some white supremacist biker group was there, and they were like passing out some like racist stickers and stuff. And a very, very, very large black man. I wasn't there to witness this. I was just hearing this from somebody who was like, "Did you see that thing happen down the street?" And very like a 7-foot tall black dude in his like leathers and everything walks up and he's like, "Give me one of those stickers." And apparently everyone at the booth was too terrified to get like, "So let me see those stickers." And they were hiding them. So way to go with that dude. But yeah, the incidents I see at Sturgis are usually just drunk guys wanting to fight, but then you got places like the Bare Knuckle Saloon where they can literally just go into a cage and fight. And then you have bikers getting smoked by cars and lots of ambulances. I see more than one dead body on the side of the road at Sturgis, and that's pretty scarring. Wear a helmet. I know it's like everyone's like, "We're cool, I don't wear helmets." Just wear a helmet. Coffee Duds and Homer. Twiddling my thumbs until GME earnings report next month. Grape Knowles. How would you describe yourself as a piece of furniture, Houston? Think of furniture as broadly as you like. Also, what do you think is the highest you can sell one share of GME for? Are you trying to get me to like turn on JD Vance? Is that what you want me to describe myself as, like a plush couch or something? If I were a piece of furniture, I would be a sheet metal map filing cabinet. Have you seen those things for like blueprints and maps? Big, long, wide, skinny drawers, and you can pull the drawer out and just fondle through maps there. You have like 20 drawers in a cabinet. That's what I would be. I would be one of those cabinets. I would love to be a map filing cabinet full of cool old maps and blueprints for buildings and civil engineering projects. That's what I would be. Price you sell GME for will probably come down to people not selling until the price gets absolutely stupid. There will be people, I think, if GameStop is allowed to MOASS. That's before we weren't really thinking that. Like, it's going to MOASS, going to destroy these companies at some point. But we've had 2 chances to MOASS, one in May, one in June, and they're both killed by GME itself, by diluting shares. Now, you can argue how or why they diluted those shares. I wish they hadn't, because I would be retired. But they could do it to raise money. They've been doing it to kill MOASS because they're going to protect their buddies that they went to school with or whatever, or because the timing wasn't right, which is another good argument. They don't want it to happen yet. They want to wait until everything comes together when they have, done some of their merger acquisitions, etc., and then it can explode. So regardless, so if they let it happen, it's just phone numbers. That's how high I think the price can go. Microturf, Houston. Saw something on your Reddit page about No Lab and shorts closing before earnings. What does that mean? Just something else to watch them step around. Sad Boy has a margin account, so he was watching his 300,000 shares go out to lending, and they all got returned, I guess, over the weekend. No Lab's earnings going to be terrible because they aren't making any money. So, because their product is a device that hasn't been approved to be sold yet. So their earnings are going to be, we spent a whole bunch of money to do these cool things. You know, we have no income. So earnings are going to be terrible. But I think shorts might be returning their loans because they've shorted it as far as they can go, because the share offering is over. That'd be my guess. First Day Productions also sad seeing another Boeing plane fall from the sky. What Boeing plane fell from the sky? Are you talking about the plane in Brazil? The one in Brazil I think was a French plane, not a Boeing plane. But I haven't heard about any other plane accidents. Geminius Houston. It's getting more and more difficult for me to watch old action movies where Russia is this 4D chess playing big bad guy, because all I ever see is Ukraine taking more and more ground. I would love to see an 80s, like someone makes a retro action movie that dates back to the 80s or 90s, right? Like do it old school style, like you'd have a Bruce Willis type character in it, and they're up against Russia. And it turns out Russia's just a bunch of bumbling morons. In the entire movie, they're like, they can't be this stupid. They can't be this dumb. The entire time, I would go to the theater for that. No, if you've been following the invasion of Russia by Ukraine, so they've invaded the Kursk region. Might as well bring up the old Google Earth here. One sec. Boink. Go to Google Earth. Boink. Open up Google Earth. Doop. In a moment, it's got to open the file because Google Earth makes everything cook. Here we go. All right, Google Earth. Why don't you open? Open. There we go. Okay, so we have Ukraine out yonder, right? Come on, show the map. We have the eastern part of Ukraine is taken up by Russian occupiers, basically from Crimea all the way up through Donetsk and Dnipro and everything, the Donbass, and then north of Kharkiv, they're trying to take Kharkiv, and they just haven't been able to quite do it yet. It's pretty close to their border. But in this zone out here, this is Kursk. This is Kursk here. So they've invaded this chunk of Kursk and are slowly going into Sumy, where Belgorod is, and they've taken about 700 to 1,000 square kilometers so far. There's about a couple dozen towns and cities in here. Around 150,000 people have had to flee so far, and what the Ukrainians have done basically is they realize this entire border is almost unguarded because all the troops they have are in eastern Ukraine, trying to hold the line against Ukrainians coming back to claim, right? And so Ukrainians went, you know what, fuck this, and they invaded here, and they've taken all these towns and cities on this chunk of the border. And they're making their way to, there's a nuclear power plant, the Kursk power plant somewhere up here, and they're going up that highway. There's another highway that's supplying lots of munitions that they're taking. And this is all old Ukraine. Before 1921, all of this land up here was Ukraine, and everyone spoke Ukrainian. And there's some videos coming out where the Ukrainian soldiers are meeting like grandmas, like babushkas, who speak Ukrainian, and are like, Slava Ukraini, because they never want to be part of Russia in the first place. They're Ukrainian. So what seems to have happened, and I'm not sure exactly what the goals are of the Ukrainians. They've held it really close to the chest. But what seems to have happened is that there are places down south, like near Kherson, south on the Spits here, on the edge of the Dnipro River, where they've taken lots of soldiers who are guarding this area, and they're putting them on in convoys, sending them up into Russia, across over to like start fighting in Kursk. And Russian media and Russian soldiers themselves are bumbling morons. And so if you have a news channel or access to Telegram, they will show you live footage of like some Russian reporter who's like, hey, right behind me, you can see these tanks and trucks and troops are all heading to Kursk to go battle the evil Nazi Ukrainians, right? But they're doing it live. And so Ukrainian military intelligence can go, oh, they're, like when I play GeoGuessr, you can pinpoint exactly where they are, at what time, and how fast they're traveling. You can be like, oh, they're in this town, they're traveling east at 65, 190 kilometers an hour. The convoy, if they aren't stopped, should be here around this time of the evening. So then they send up drones up over Russia. They have a whole bunch of drones with laser sights. And from either Kursk or just over on the other side, on the Ukrainian side, they launch a whole bunch of HIMAR thermobaric missiles. If you don't know what thermobaric missiles are, they're terrifying. You never want to be near one. As they crash, they aerosolize a whole bunch of fuel into the area, and then it explodes. And the explosion sucks up so much oxygen in the area, it pulls the oxygen out of your lungs, and you just die. You don't recover. Like, it just sucks so much oxygen out of your lungs, they implode, they can never recover, and you just die. And so they've got these drones that will laser sight and pinpoint the convoys and then just blow them up with HIMARS missiles. And, if you're following the open source intelligence guys on Twitter or Blue Sky or Reddit, they will tell you like, oh, there's another Russian convoy. I give them 7 hours until they're all dead. And then the next morning, you'll see the video footage of the entire convoy just wiped out from missile strikes. So if you got soldiers dug into trenches and things, it's really hard to get them out of the way. But if you can convince your enemy to pull them out and get them under these big, densely packed convoys, you can wipe them out really bad. So earlier in the spring, the Russians amassed a huge number of soldiers here along the border, like 100,000 of them along the border. And they were going to try to do another invasion to get Kharkiv, which is one of the bigger cities in Ukraine. And Zelensky, President Zelensky of Ukraine, he asked the United States, because the United States had a rule, we can give you these weapons, but you can't use them on Russia itself. Like you can fire them into, occupied territory, but you can't make the war in Russia happen with these weapons. And so Ukraine was doing things, they'd have their little drones they made, and they would do strikes at airfields and stuff. But they got the permission from the United States government to use ATACMS and HIMARS missiles, which are extremely powerful, on Russia itself, in Russia. And so in like June, they wiped out who knows how many soldiers that were amassed here, right, waiting to attack. They blew up everyone behind them, so all the supply lines were gone. And then they blew up everyone who was here, and tens of thousands of soldiers were just erased. Tanks, BMPs, you name it, gone. But there's still a significant population of soldiers. They're getting resupplied eventually. And it looks like what the Ukrainians are trying to do is flank them. So they've got their line held along the border, and they've got these guys who went into Kursk, and they are now on is it the E104 highway, I believe? If I pop roads in here, will it show up? E105, sorry, the E105. So they got the E105 that they're going to try and control. I'm going to take it off there because the roads are confusing me now. The E105. And it looks like they're reaching out to flank and get behind all of these dudes to just finish them off. And if they do that, I don't know how Russia can even respond, because they don't have the artillery in place, enough cruise missiles, anything to take care of these folks. And they don't have enough soldiers. They have an active fighting force of like 500,000 soldiers, but they've lost 600,000 in the last 2.5 years. So basically everyone who's in the Russian military is like brand new. And they don't have guns, they don't have bullets, they don't have water in a lot of places. The supply lines are absolutely terrible. So, they're surrendering by the thousands a day to the Ukrainians. And there's actually a problem for the Ukrainians because so many soldiers have shown up in Kursk and have surrendered that the Ukrainians don't have the logistics in place to do anything about these captured soldiers. They're just like piling up in these towns. And the Ukrainians have been flying drones with loudspeakers, like telling them exactly how to surrender. And they're coming out of the buildings, just hands up, guns down, and just surrendering by the thousands a day. So it's a pretty interesting tactic that they're doing here. And Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State today, Russia was complaining to the UN like, they invaded our sovereign country. How dare they? And everyone at the UN is just kind of rolling their eyes because you invaded a sovereign country yourself, ding dong. And so Anthony Blinken said, if they don't want Ukraine to invade Russia, there's a simple solution that Russia can pull out of Ukraine. So looks like they've got the A-OK from the U.S. government on this one. Like, have at it, man. It's the first time a nuclear power has ever lost territory to an invading army. The joke was that before 2022, Russia had the second best army in the world. After 2022, Russia had the second best army in Ukraine. And now in 2024, Russia has the second best army in Russia. So, just, it's fascinating to see how much Russia is just falling apart. And it's all corruption. It's all, you know, Russian generals selling off fuel just so they can buy a ship, like a yacht in the Caribbean or whatever, the Mediterranean, an extra house in Monaco. And then when it comes time to mount up, they don't have the supplies because they sold them all on the black market. They also had problems where the generals were making up the number of troops that they had in their battalions by like 30%, and then collecting the extra paychecks the government would send and cashing them themselves so they could buy luxury items and cars and mansions and supermodels and stuff like that. And so when the original Blitzkrieg happened, where Russia, you know, had hundreds of thousands of troops that were going to storm and get to Kyiv in 3 days, the generals were like, oh, no problem, we've got soldiers for that. They're like, fuck, we don't have actual soldiers for that. So they did the Blitzkrieg anyway. So what they did was all the soldiers that would normally do supply line stuff to support the Blitzkrieg, because the Blitzkrieg have to happen in waves. You've got the initial force power through, and then you've got another force that comes through with more supplies and fuel and everything else. They did the first wave, but they didn't have enough people for the second wave. And so when their Blitzkrieg failed, it failed because they lied to Putin about how many soldiers they had under their command because they were collecting the extra paychecks. You had, you know, officers who would normally be commanding situations all of a sudden having to drive tanks because they didn't have enough people to drive tanks because they lied about how many tank drivers they had. Stuff like that. It's just been a giant cluster ever since this started. I am every single day I'm amazed at just what a blundering bunch of fools the Russian military is. They have been no one to be feared whatsoever. The designs of their weapons are antiquated and crappy. Their manufacturing process is crappy. Their supply chains are crappy. I mean, Russia doesn't have palletization. Do you realize that? Like, here in America and most of the world, you put things on pallets. You got forklifts that can load. Those pallets can go on conveyor belts. You got a streamlined division of labor that happens. The Russian military doesn't have palletization. They don't have conveyor belts. They don't have, so everything has to be done human power. You have a carton of bullets, you pass it to another guy, you pass it to another guy, and you get these human chains doing that. Same thing with munitions. You look at the NATO weapons, right? That they have NATO standards for their weapons. You will have, you know, shells for I don't know, 155 millimeter shells, right? And they are in pallets, in boxes, and you have some of these machines are automatic feeding machines. So you take the pallets and you install them into the you know, mobile munitions truck, you know, the howitzer or whatever, and it just auto loads. Boom, boom, boom. They don't have to be fed by hand or anything. It go boom. Some of the crazy ones that the Norwegians have built can get off 3 shots and be like a mile away before they land. They go boom, 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 auto reload, pull up and drive away, and they'll land somewhere. So they're trying to triangulate where it's coming from. They can't figure it out. And Russia doesn't have anything like that. You got to do everything by hand. You know, you need 20 dudes to unload a truck because you don't have forklifts. And NATO trucks have forklifts built onto the back of them. They have like army forklifts that they can just start pulling things out, and they can move so much food, fuel, troops, munitions, and set up camp, break down camp, and be gone in almost no time compared to the Russian military. It's just fascinating that you know, Russia has counted on massive amounts of soldiers throughout the years to basically just do meat waves. And that's what they do. They just send people who have no business being in war to go die, and eventually their enemy runs out of bullets. Well, Russia's running out of people. They don't have the population like they once did. The minute Russia opened up to the West, everyone who could got the fuck out. They left. They moved to France. They moved to the U.S. They moved to the Caymans. They moved to the Seychelles. They moved to Thailand. They got out. And when the conscription happened in Russia, you know, any young man of middle class or higher left. You can go to Thailand. You can go to Sri Lanka. You can go to Georgia, the nation. And it is just tens of thousands of Russian men just like in youth hostels and in hotels and, you know, cheap apartments, just waiting out, hoping to never, ever, 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 ever have to go to battle because they don't want to be conscripted, be sent as part of a meat wave. And so the only people they have are ethnic minorities from destitute regions, you know, east of the Ural Mountains. And a lot of them don't speak Russian. They have no training whatsoever. They just get told to show up to a recruitment center and they're sent off to battle. Their training consists of like, this is your uniform, get the hell out of here and go to the front line and run when I tell you. It's just so brutal. Anyway, enough going off on tangent about that, but it's pretty phenomenal what Ukraine has done invading Russia and how Putin has there's no response. There's just, he basically has put the FSB in charge, which is the former KGB, it's their intelligence service and secret police, and those guys aren't military trained. And the best they can do is probably impersonate Ukrainians and then commit atrocities on their own people to try and do false flags, but they don't have the skill or manpower to take on tens of thousands of troops who are blitzkrieging across their nation. If they get caught, that's it. They're done. So, yeah. Monkey Butt's at my feet today because I guess a transformer exploded and is loud and scary, so she's been the terrifying and under the desk. The fat cat does not care, though. You don't care. You don't care. You don't care at all. No. All right, where am I? I haven't gotten to the start of the show still. Charles Bronson, Houston. Check out Under Armour, September 20th, 750 puts, open. Also, Atlanta building Proscenium. Last bought for 146 million, sold for 83 million. Finally, why are BBYQ holders acting like we won? Okay, I'll go backwards. BBYQ owners acting like we won because it looks like we did. Looks like the judge wants to wrap up this bankruptcy. In some of the rulings he's made, he has alluded to the fact that there is an acquirer of the company. They've not said who it is. We have a whole bunch of confidentiality agreements. We have a whole bunch of like sealed documents, and we've got hearings that the public have not been allowed to. And it looks like that someone is in the process of purchasing the remnants of BBBY. If they do that and they utilize the Knolls for anything, then we get our equity back. Woo! So that's why everyone's feeling pretty confident. Building Atlanta, Proscenium bought for 146 million, sold for 83. You're going to see a lot more of that. I see 5 of them a week pop up on my social media feed of buildings that are worth 50% or less than what they were purchased for in 2019 or earlier. And check out Under Armour, September 20th, 750 puts, open interest. Okay, let's go check that one out. Where is... Oh. Did I close the other one? No. This is what I did. Okay. Okay. Under Armour options chain. Under Armour corporate options chain. Boom. Oh, I can't see the open interest because it's past midnight. Oh! That's a very small options chain. A number of shares available. Not much volatility happening there. But the volume for this week, very small. What date? September 20th. Okay, September 20th. The volume is very tiny. I don't see any, but open interest isn't listed because we're past midnight East Coast, and that's when they delete the open interest. In the morning, they'll update it. Current price $79. These are really cheap. That's quite cheap. Implied volatility 1%. My gosh, no wonder they're so cheap. Being more than a month out. Huh. Interesting. All right. I'll check it out tomorrow when the market opens back up again. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing because the big stupid Google Earth is in the way. Goodness gracious. Houston, get your act together. Okay, here we go. So you can see here, I can't see what the open interest is because, but the implied volatility, 1%. 0%, $10. Basically, like, there's no chance it's getting $10. or yeah. So, yeah, interesting. So these ones here, this is the ones we want to look at now. We want to see what the open interest is, but I cannot see at the moment. Interesting. Let's look at Under Armour in general. Oops. Armour share price. Okay, so they were at 780 and they dropped to 759. Let's see what the 6 months. They've been well below 7, even being August. They're well below 7. So about the last year. So their lowest low, recent low is August. Before that, September of last year, they were below 6. The 5-year, that was there, below 6 again in 2022. They've been as high as 20 something. And max, they've been as high as 50 something. Interesting. Those might be those puts might pay off 3x or more. Might be something to pay attention to. Turkish, where's the money, Lebowski? My hands are gone now. I'm typing and using my tongue. I get it. Big Mac 8000, Houston. If the market crashes on, say, September 29th, like 2008, how long do you think until GME gets paid? Do you think it could turn into a legal battle for a while? No. I don't think it'll be a legal battle. If a squeeze happens, there's no legal battle because there's no one left to do anything about it. They're all busted ass. What was the date of the Volkswagen squeeze? The Volkswagen squeeze, I think, was fall of 2008, right? Volkswagen short squeeze. What was the date? There we go. Give me the date. October 2008. So it was it was a few weeks after the global financial crisis collapsed, and that's when it went bonkers. So what were the dates? Give me the dates. You just said October. That's all you said. You know, you don't have any like dates of like this thing peaked when. Oh, October 26th. There we go. Yeah. So October 26th. So it was basically a month after the economy collapsed is when the Volkswagen short squeeze started. So there you go. It could happen. We could do it. So as long as Ryan doesn't dilute into the market some more. But we can do it. Kim Houston. Hi, Houston. Do you think the dog days are over? What do you think about the end-of-day price action on Chewy and GME? Well, let's look at the end-of-day price action on Chewy and GME. So, oops, you can't see what I'm doing again. We went from 21 change up to 22 and change, and then it dropped back down. It bottomed out at, what, 21.50 or so? Yeah. And then we're back up almost 22, and it leveled out. It seems to me like its home is between 20 and 23, and that's the natural home for the share price at the moment, barring, you know, some announcement of earnings or a merger or DFV suddenly buying, you know, 80 bajillion call options again. So this is where we are. Last week it bottomed out at 18. Is that our lowest? This is showing 20. 5-day. Last week was just about 20. I think we bottomed out at 18. These are two spikes where we should have retired. But yeah, this is the floor. This is the floor before. We were at like 10 to 15. That was our floor. And then we reset a floor now at 20 and change. And I think we're going to be there until the next, you know, happening happens. Chewy, what did Chewy do today? Chewy, kind of same. Bounced up, did a big climb, then a big drop, and then flattened out. So, Thomas Dubois, howdy Houston. Have you ever heard of NutriBites treats? It's freeze-dried beef liver for cats and dogs. Great for those that have both pets. I have never heard of them. Speaking of treats, I guess we probably should do something for the Monksters, right? My guess, probably a good thing, right? Oh, did that wake you up? Yeah? Are you suddenly part of the conversation? Is that, oh man, this thing smells so strong. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is that? Can we do this for you? Is this something that a monkey butt can handle? Right? You gotta climb up from under the desk. There you go. Come on. Get up here. Get that thing. Om nom 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 nom. Oh, there you go. Oh, don't stand on my gifts I gotta ship out tomorrow. Alright. I mean, I am shipping prizes tomorrow, so that's happening. What else we got going on? Where am I? Corporate Walnut, water on Mars. The latest data to come out is they think there's boatloads of water frozen under the surface that has been covered with dust since then. Basically oceans worth of water. It's possible. I'm not sure how deep it will go. It would help bolster the atmosphere ever so slightly if you can get water vapor into the atmosphere. But the problem is that Mars is very cold. The atmosphere is very thin. So trying to maintain liquid water on the surface of Mars is pretty difficult. Only certain times of the year can enough perhaps form some condensation to make trickles go down like the edges of cliffs and craters and things. Hey, monkey. But yeah, there's probably a lot of water there that can be used for things. Ferris gives us more coordinates. Where are we going this time? We're going really far east. Where are we? Japan? 45 170. Okay, let's go Earth this sucker. Let's go. Let's go. Boom. Leaving Ukraine. We're going to this spot right here. Boom. Couldn't understand. Why can't you understand these locations, man? What is up? It totally makes sense to me. So 45 north, 170 east. Let's rotate that. 45 north, somewhere up here. So that's 36, 40 with Curial. 147. So we're way out here. 45, 170. Oops. 45, 170. So we're out here in the seamounts. Is that what we want to look at? 45 what? 4521. So that's 4524. 4521. and 170.49. 170.49. Right there. So right in the seamounts, right about there. I'm not sure what I'll be looking at here. There's no, that can have a satellite photo of this chunk of the ocean. But we want to talk about the seamounts in general. Ancient Hawaii. We do have a photograph out here. What's this photograph about? This is somebody thinking they're in Saskatoon. So this is apparently what the middle of the Pacific Ocean looks like, according to this person who doesn't know their east from their west. 93 flax. So there you go. But the seamounts, this is ancient Hawaii right here. We've talked about this before. So you have the hot spot under the Big Island. So right here is where the hot spot currently is. So where Luihi is building. They actually changed Luihi's name, and I can't remember where it is. But a new island is popping up here. It's also feeding Mauna Loa and Hualalai and Kilauea volcanoes. Now, the Pacific Ocean is moving. It's moving to the east. To the west. And due to the fact that across the ocean we've got spreading ridges out here pushing the Pacific that way. And we have spreading ridges in the Middle Atlantic pushing the continents like this. So basically the Pacific Ocean is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as North America and Asia head towards each other. Now, we are currently moving very much to the northwest with the Hawaiian Islands as they conveyor belt their way across at a couple inches a year. What happened right now, this bend, this hooky-doo that you can see in the seamounts that were ancient Hawaiian Islands, this is when India slammed into Asia about 40-something million years ago. So you can see over here, India, this is this big seam where the Himalayas are formed. And India broke off of Gondwanaland. Oops, I want this. India broke off of Gondwanaland along with Australia, Madagascar, New Zealand. They were all part of Gondwanaland off of East Africa. And they broke off and they all went their separate directions. And India, flying like crazy, slapped into Asia about 40 million years ago and bent the entire Asian continent. And you can see the big old wrinkle, right? It slammed in here, made a wrinkle out in the Hindu Kush, made a wrinkle out here in Burma, and it's just motoring its way in. It's still slamming into Asia, and the mountains are still building at a rate of several centimeters a year. And as a result, the entire Asian continent went and made this big old bendy-do in the Pacific Ocean, right here. So all of Asia bent, just torqued everything, and now the Hawaiian Islands move in basically a different direction overall. But they're slowly diving under the subduction zones here, where the Aleutian Islands meet the Kamchatka Peninsula, and then they get buried down near the mantle, reheated in plumes, and they pop up as volcanoes in Kamchatka. So this is all recycled Hawaii. This entire peninsula here is basically recycled Hawaii as the seamounts get regurgitated, pop back out. I don't know what you wanted me to see there, but that's where we are. Oh no, it's south. Oh my gosh, I can't read my south from my north. So I have to go to 45 south. Dadgummit. 45 south, 170. So we are in New Zealand. Okay, Big Dumb Houston telling stories about the Pacific Ocean he doesn't need to talk about because there's something interesting to look at here in New Zealand. So 45, was it 4524? 4521. 4521. 22, 21, 170, 49. So 170, 49, 45, 51, 170, 50, 170, 49, 41, 49, 47, 49, 44, 49, 41. Okay. We are a little far south. So I'm going to go north to 21. North to 21. No, 21. 2103. That's too far north. 2103. 2103. Sorry, we're too far south. 2103. Okay. 7041. Oh, sorry, 49. 41. 49. 41. Boom. Boulders public parking. Okay, this is where we want to be. 2004. This looks like it. What are we looking at here? Give it to me. Look at that. Well, that's pretty. That's very pretty. Okay, what am I doing here? Boulders, public parking. We got another spot here. What are you? You are some very round boulders. Those are very round, I will say. Those are some sea balls right there. Okay, I'm just looking at some nuts that we got here. Got some more nuts over here. Got some more nuts. Sea balls. Word. That's much better than the middle of the ocean because I can't read my north from my south. Got more balls here. What do you got? New Zealand South Island. Some birds. It's a pretty nice beach. So it's like Oregon basically here. Oregon's at 45 degrees north. So I assume the beach is pretty similar. Water's probably cold as shit. Got some good surf. More balls. There's people touching all the balls. There's some ball touching. There we go. Sea balls. Oh, that's the one we just did. More sea balls. Sea balls everywhere. This entire beach is made of sea balls. Cold. She's cold. Look at her. She's in her parka and everything. Parking lot for the sea balls. There's some sea balls. See them sea balls. So what are these things? Do we have a Wikipedia article for them? I don't see any. Oh, maybe there? Aha. Here we go. Full article. The Moe boulders are unusually large spherical boulders lying along a stretch of Kohe Beach on the wave-cut Otago coast of New Zealand between Moe and Hampton. They occur scattered, either isolated or clusters of boulders within a stretch of beach where they have been protected in scientific research. Protected in a scientific reserve. These boulders are gray-colored septarian concretions, which have been exhumed from the mudstone and bedrock enclosed them and concentrated on the beach by coastal erosion. Especially in recent years, the boulders have been popular tourist attraction. The most striking aspect of the boulders is their unusually large size and spherical shape, with a distinct bimodal size distribution. Approximately one-third of the boulders range in size from about 0.5 to 1 meter in diameter, and the other two-thirds from 1.5 to 2.2 meters. Most are spherical, or almost spherical, but a small portion is slightly elongated parallel to the bedding plane of the mudstone that once enclosed them. Neither the spherical to subspherical shape or large sizes of boulders is unique to them. Visually identical spherical boulders called Kautu boulders are found on the beaches and cliffs and beneath surface and inland shore of Hokiinga Harbor, North Island, New Zealand, between Kautu and Kaware points. Like the Moe boulders, the Kautu boulders are large, reaching 3 meters in diameter, and are almost spherical. Okay. These concretions, spherical cannonball concretions, and flat disc-shaped concretions, unlike Moeraki boulders, these concretions contain bones of mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. Oh, they got dinosaur bones in them, and the ones further north. Interesting. Detailed analysis, fine grain using official mineralogy, X-ray crystallography, and electron microprobe has determined that the boulders consist of mud, fine silt, and clay cemented by calcite. The degree of cementation varies from being relatively weak to in the interior boulders are quite hard on the outside. Word. Caused by mudstone. Formed of marine mud. The surface of the seafloor. Contain magnesium and iron content, stable isotopes of oxygen, carbon. Indicates source of calcium was mass diffusion as opposed to fluid flow. Blah 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 blah. Dolomite quartz, seal. All right, cool. So the ones, where do you have a link to the other ones? Watu boulders, they should have their own thing because they've got dinosaur bones in them, right? Inspect. Oh, whatever. All right. Yeah, some sea nuts. How much? Sea nuts go further? Do you have more sea nuts up here? Yeah, the whole beaches of sea nuts. Seeing this for miles. For miles, you can see these balls littered all over the beach. That's fun. Okay. Enough of that. Oh, monkey butt. I'll turn it off, monkey. Let's give you another one. Yeah, you want one? Is that what you're looking for? Alright, we'll give you one more. Come on. Come get it. Get up there. You got that? Okay. Ooh, those are stinky. Memeonomist. Memeonomist? What do you think about buying BBBY bonds? If you can, good luck. I don't think any broker is selling them. The last broker to sell them was IBKR, and they stopped sometime last spring, allowing anyone to buy them. I tried, and they wouldn't let me. I would have bought a whole bunch, but c'est la vie. Was not able to. J King, I haven't gotten to the start of the show yet. That's how slow I am today. I'm a minute before the start of the show. Houston, great to catch you live. Still recovering from spinal surgery. Just about broke my neck, and PT is keeping me very busy. But I don't miss. I'm out here lurking. Thanks for all. Well, J King, I'm glad you got the surgery you need, and I'm glad you aren't paralyzed. Terrifying to break your back. I've had several friends who have broken their backs and came so close to like never walking again. And it's amazing what they're able to do surgery-wise to make sure people don't sever their nerves. Man, whew. Yeah. Kidcadian, yay more Houston. Here we are. Cooked Capo says 501. That's because episode number 501. David Hashemi, Houston. I bought 920 GME calls on my cooked. Why would you be cooked? I have 823s, and I'm just happy with them at the moment. So I don't think you're cooked. Not yet, anyway. Sujo's here, and happy birthday. Mike C, another disaster interview for Trump. Lol, not to mention, you got Vance in these cross-dressing photos releasing daily. Can't remember a party crashing and burning this bad. It's incredible. I think there's a couple of things going on. So the Trump campaign this weekend said they were hacked, that somebody had been sending information, like internal documents and emails and stuff to Politico. Politico is currently owned by a Trump supporter. Like he really tweets out like pray for Trump, things like that. So Politico did not publish this data. But they appeared to not be the only ones who got it. Nick Fuentes, the little Nazi who keeps getting busted, like looking at trans porn. Nick Fuentes alluded to the fact that he also had copies of it, which makes me think that some Groiper, little modern Nazi dude, is working in the Trump campaign and may have gotten the data. Trump is trying to claim that Iran did it. So far today, the FBI and Microsoft both said that doesn't seem very likely. I'm thinking somebody inside who is part of that Nick Fuentes Groiper crew that are super racist and are mad that Trump isn't being as racist as he has been in the past, might be leaking the information. If you're a Republican candidate, you can't win without the Nazi vote. You need them. It's as simple as that. So you have to like be racist, but not so racist that the normies go, oh, that's racist. So he's used all the dog whistles and everything to keep the Nazis happy. And they're really mad that JD Vance has a wife who's not white. And that seems to be where the sticking point is. So my guess is that one of Nick Fuentes' followers works in the Trump campaign and has been leaking this data because they're mad that they picked a guy whose wife is white. Not white. They see it as like being traitors to their race. So all these disasters are happening, and I think now that Harris is in control, And Harris is somebody who is much more hip to how the internet works. That she is bringing a perspective that is, you have to fight fire with fire. And they've got everything you could ever possibly want or need to go after everybody. And they're going to hit low. And they're going to keep hitting low and make it funny. They're going to have humor about it. It's going to be jocular and jovial, not like cruel type humor. It'll be, you know, a couch fucker joke, which everyone knows is not true. But JD Vance will never be able to have a picture of him in a room with a couch ever again. It's ruined him. And, you know, they'll have the pictures of JD in a dress. They'll keep, like, the Harris campaign opened up a Truth Social account this week, and they follow one person, that's Donald Trump. And the entire Truth Social campaign is tagging Donald Trump and comparing crowd sizes at different venues that they've shared. Look at our crowd size in Atlanta and your crowd size in Atlanta. Ooh, look at our crowd size in Philadelphia and your crowd size in Philadelphia. Look at our crowd size in Detroit and your crowd size in Detroit. So it's been a lot of that. And they're going for narcissistic injury on Trump. And the more narcissistic injury they get on him, the more he's going to lose it and just crash in on himself and not be able to process information, because that's what happens when you destroy somebody with a cluster B personality disorder. So it's pretty phenomenal what they've managed to get going there. Donkey Donks just got done taking a huge dump, chimichanga style. It was deep fried. Can I see why Friday? I don't know what you're asking. Area Nas says, heyo. Andrew Stewart, Houston. Dude, baseball time. How awful and bad are the White Sox this year? Oof. They're among one of the worst teams in history. The Europeans waking up, they're like, oh, baseball. No. But we're going to talk baseball because that's what we do. That's what we do around here. American League East standings. Okay. No, not East. I don't want East. I want Midwest. Central. Let's get to not East. Central. There we go. White Sox are 29-91. They're almost 100 losses with like 40 games to go in the season. I don't know why I clicked on that. 242. That is... Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. You still can't see what I'm doing. There we go. 242 winning percentage. That is god-awful. Worst MLB seasons of all time. Worst MLB seasons of all time. List of worst Major League Baseball season win-loss records. Here we go. 1899. So if we look at the old era, boom, modern era, they are up there. So they are the second worst team currently of all time. The 1916 Philadelphia Athletics, they only won 36 games. 1935 Boston Braves only won 38. 62 Mets, that was their first season with Casey Stengel coaching them. They only won 40 games. And currently, the White Sox are going to do worse than both of those guys. They're at 242, flirting with being the worst baseball team of all time. Finishing 60 games behind. How many games behind are they right now? They are currently 41 games behind with 40 more games to go in the season. Ouch. Quick math. 0.242 times 162. Looks like they're going to win 39 games in the season. Ouch. Ouch. They're lucky that the Cleveland isn't like the Dodgers or something, and they're so if you had like a super duper duper amazing top team in the Central, they could be 60 games behind by this point. Man, no, they are historically bad. Historically, they are absolute dog shit. And I'm surprised they didn't do more selling at the trade deadline. But oh my god, I forgot. Still didn't turn it off. What is wrong with me? I spent the time getting a treat for the dog and not. gonna wait. When this turns off, I'm gonna turn it off. Turn it off. There we go. Let's see if I gets rewarded again. She's like, step right up. Come on, come get it. Get in there. You've earned it because I'm an idiot. Okay. We're just gonna do 5 more minutes here, and then I'm so far behind in the chat. There's just like no way to get through here. Oh my gosh. Oh, I missed a super chat from Sad Boy. I'm praying Ron says they're done diluting during earnings, so the price jumps back to $1, and also that they're applying for FDA approval during the call. That would be magnificent, right? Wouldn't it be magnificent, Monkey, if they could say that they are doing just that, right? You stupid little dog. Your dumb little dog brain that keeps eating treats because you're just so cute. All right. Yes, I agree. I agree 100%. I don't want the price to go flying high yet because I still want to try and pile the money to get all my own shares. That's what just come on. I still look back at June 7th and I go, oh, I could have had 1 million shares and no labs back then. Oh, Monkey. Oh, Monkey. We could have had it. Bex, Houston, and Matt hit a new low. It would be one hell of a bargain if the company could be turned around. I'm tempted to buy, so my numbers don't look so incredibly sad. Bex and Matt ain't happening. They have sold off anything of value, abandoned all of their patents, and which ones they didn't abandon, they're gonna sell off for cheap at auction. They're toast. They got so thoroughly destroyed by Uzi and the board, whose entire goal was to destroy the company. They took over specifically to just destroy the company. That's it. They had no intention of turning the company around, making a profit. They sold off any of the parts of the company that actually sold things and had customers. They sold those at a huge loss. Matt ain't doing anything. There may be. You'll have to see who the receiver is in bankruptcy, and if they will continue Wes Christian's lawsuit, which could net piles of cash for shareholders. But my guess is there may be pressure to sue the board members, similar to how the board members are getting sued in Bed Bath & Beyond, to recover something. But the company itself, they got nothing. I'm sure they got some nulls that can be used in there. I'm not sure exactly how Canadian law works for those things, but they're toast. That's absolutely just Uzi sucks. He's an absolute garbage person, and I hope he never. If he ever is on the board of a company again, I will short the hell of that company because that's going to be what everyone else is doing. Andrew Stewart has 3 words. Well, we might as well do some 3 words here since we're wrapping it up. I'm an hour and a half behind and I can't do anything else. All right. I go, what 3 words? What 3 words? We're going to go to... delete that one. Burp, burp, burp. And put that one in there. Glossy Dealings Albatross. Okay. Golfoss. Oh, we're in Iceland. The Golfoss waterfall. Let's boom. Turn that one on. I've been here. So Golfoss waterfall east side. So this is the Golfoss Falls here. Let's see if I can find pictures of Houston at Golfoss. One sec. We're gonna go back to Big Houston for a moment. And picture of Houston at Golfoss. I know it. I think I've got it on face page. Photos. This would have been 2010. So albums. 2008, 30, Dance, Halloween, October. Here we go. Adventures Outside of America. Boom. There's Iceland. Okay, I think that's France. Where is? Oh, she must have taken the pictures. Dang it! Probably on hers. I didn't remember taking any stupid pictures of Colfoss. Yeah, nuts. Well, there's a picture of me somewhere. I think it might be on my friend Jesse's reels. Well, we can do Colfoss. Colfoss. I can't spell. Colfoss Falls. It's a big waterfall in the middle of a big canyon. Come on. There we go. All right, Colfoss images. Boom. Big waterfall. I wasn't above it. I was at the waterfall. There's a. I guess you get to take the trail down, and you get pictures from down below of the big giant waterfall. I did my picture, I believe, below that. So where is? Yeah, like down here somewhere. But big, beautiful waterfall, melty water going through big basalt flood basalts, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. With some kilometer basalt hiding in there somewhere. I wasn't there in the winter. I was there in October. Yeah. Look at them. Look at them waterfalls. What was that all about? Oh, that's like a cartoon drawing? Or is it it's a weird-ass time-lapse? What is that? That looks weird. That looks completely fake to me. That looks like computer animation. Colfoss in the winter. Colfoss and go hard. Yeah, all right. Marco Patrick, could GME reverse their broken split end and reissue it correctly to their shareholders in the correct manner, not like the way the CFO that messed it up did? I have no idea. I don't know if you get the DTC to agree to anything like that. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna do one more. Sad Boy says he got into a shouting match with the head of risk management IBKR, and they refused to sell me bonds or make me a market for BBYQ bonds. Well, it's worth a shot, right? Shane E says, on the soldier situation in Russia, read an article that claimed the average age of Russian killed in action now is 38. I mean, I've seen lots of stories like some guy in his 60s gets called up and he's like missing a leg. He's like, I'm supposed to report. They're like, get on the bus. There was like a pediatric brain surgeon who got called up and they sent the front lines and he died. Just there's not much triage going on. They had a problem last fall where Russian tank barrels were exploding like crazy, because tank barrels are only good for so many shots because the high temperature fatigues the metal, and eventually the metal just gives way finally in complete fatigue and just blows out, because Russia had conscripted everybody at the tank barrel factory into the army, put them in the front line, and they all died. So there was no one to make them tank barrels. You only get 500 to 1,000 shots out of a tank barrel, and then it's done. And you can be doing dozens of shots a day, so in a matter of a few weeks, you need to get a barrel replacement, and the Russian army wasn't getting any barrel replacements because they used them all. And then there was no one left to make them because they killed them all. So it's just phenomenal bumbling. Seriously, let's write a script for an action film that takes place in like an alternate universe of 1989 or something, and where everyone's scared of Russia, and turns out Russia's just a drunken, bumbling fool. I would, yeah. I'd love it. Okay. All right. Cats, dogs, that it? I'm done for the evening. I'm going to go eat a second dinner. Unless weird stuff happens tomorrow, I'll see you guys Wednesday. And have a good night. Sorry if I didn't get your questions. I'm so sorry. I went on tangents today. And there are so many questions I missed. We'll get to them if we can. And have a great night. And how about we end with, because I like the show 500 one so much, I'm going to end with that one. Boink. Alexander, aren't you forgetting something?
Whoops. Let me just push this button right here.
Shorts!
Nope, that wasn't it. What about this one? Maybe this one? Gosh darn it. Well, since we're here, 500 shows? How? More like, wow. Oh, I think this is the button.
Houston, we have a problem.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.